I found my car parked at a nightclub and decided to play a psychological game with the thief. A mechanic took my car for a joyride at 11 p.m. I watched him on GPS, moved my own car, and let him think it was stolen. His panic was worth every second. I dropped my modified Subaru WRX at the shop for a routine oil change. Nothing fancy, just maintenance. No test drives needed, I told the service advisor. Just the oil change. He nodded. Should be ready by tomorrow afternoon. I left my baby in their care. That night, I was watching television when my phone buzzed at 11:07 p.m. GPS alert, vehicle moving. I opened my tracking app. The little blue dot representing my car was leaving the shop parking lot. Maybe they're moving it inside, I thought. Then the dot turned onto the highway and accelerated to 103 miles per hour. My blood pressure spiked. Someone was joyriding in my car. My modified, tuned, 600 horsepower car that I'd spent 3 years building. I watched the dot scream down the interstate for 15 minutes before exiting toward downtown. It weaved through city streets and finally stopped at a location I recognized immediately. Club Onyx, the trendiest nightclub in the city. VIP parking. Some mechanic was using my car to look cool at the club. I had two options: call the police or handle it myself. I chose door number 2. I grabbed my spare key fob, drove my wife's sedan downtown, and parked 3 blocks from the club. I walked toward the venue, heart pounding with a mixture of rage and anticipation. There it was, my WRX, parked in the VIP section, engine still ticking from the heat. I resisted the urge to cause a scene. Instead, I executed a different plan. I walked casually to my car, pressed the unlock button on my spare fob, and climbed inside. The seats were adjusted wrong. The mirrors were moved. The radio was blasting some terrible hip-hop station. Evidence of the intruder. I started the engine, backed out slowly, and drove exactly 2 blocks to a legal street parking spot. I locked the doors, pocketed my key, and walked back to my wife's car. Then I went home. At 2:14 a.m., I opened my GPS app again. The car's dot was stationary 2 blocks from the club, but a separate dot, the mechanic's phone, which I'd identified through the shop's employee portal, was circling the VIP parking area, walking in circles, frantic patterns. He thought someone stole the car he'd stolen. The irony was delicious. For 45 minutes, I watched him pace. He walked to surrounding blocks. He returned to the original spot. He paced some more. At 3:02 a.m., he apparently gave up and called an Uber. I slept peacefully. At 8:00 a.m. sharp, I called the shop. Good morning, this is Daniel. I dropped off my WRX yesterday for an oil change. Is it ready? Silence on the line. Then a voice I didn't recognize. Young, nervous, terrified. Yeah, we're just finishing up, doing some extra polishing. Give us maybe an hour. Extra polishing? That's so thoughtful. Everything went smoothly overnight? No issues? More silence. No issues. All good here. Great, because my GPS tracker shows my car traveled 47 miles last night. Hit 103 on the highway. Spent 3 hours parked outside Club Onyx downtown. Dead silence. I also have footage from my dash cam, front and interior. Would you like me to share that with the shop owner? Or should I just call the police directly? The phone clattered. I heard muffled shouting in the background, running footsteps. A new voice came on. Older, professional, panicked. Sir, this is Ron, the shop owner. I'm so incredibly sorry. I just learned what happened. Please don't involve the police. I will handle this personally. I'm listening. The employee responsible is terminated effective immediately. I'm also prepared to offer you lifetime free service at our shop. Oil changes, inspections, anything you need. No charge, ever. And the 47 miles on my odometer, I'll cut you a check for the mileage plus wear compensation. $500. Today. I pretended to consider it. Deal. But I want the dashcam footage returned to me personally, and I want to watch you fire him. Ron agreed to everything. I arrived at the shop an hour later. The mechanic, a 23-year-old named Tyler, was standing in the service bay looking like he hadn't slept in days. Ron handed me my keys, a check for $500, and a handwritten lifetime service guarantee. Then he turned to Tyler. You're fired. Get your things and leave. Now. Tyler looked at me with desperate eyes. Dude, how did you even know? I held up my phone, showing the GPS tracking app. Technology, Tyler. Maybe Google it before your next joyride. I drove my WRX home. Windows down, engine purring, free oil changes for life, $500 in my pocket, and a story I'll tell forever. Some mechanics fix cars. Tyler's career got